Talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This is the TorbayHour radio show.
Yeah, good evening. It is 8 o'clock. It's Monday night, which means it's time for the TorbayHour radio show. It's Rick here. It's Martin as well. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening.
We've got Helen in the studio as well. We're talking blogging tonight.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome along. You bought cake. You're always welcome.
Always
Cake was for me.
It's a glorious night in Torbay and South Devon. So probably people listening to the show tonight enjoying something chilly.
I wish I was.
Yeah. If you work for or own an air conditioning company and you'd like a showcase site where you'd like to demonstrate and get us to talk about how wonderful air conditioning is every week, we could provide such a site. You never know.
We can do that.
Yeah. It's been a busy week over the last 7 days. Of course, the Ockham Beer Festival you enjoyed at the weekend.
I very much enjoyed, yes.
And I very much enjoyed too.
Everyone who was there very much enjoyed it.
Oh, yes. Not that we can necessarily remember it, but we enjoyed it while we were there.
What else have you done? What else has been going on business-wise this week?
Lots of things, well, for us, going on behind the scenes, as ever. Also, what else was going on? You know what? I can't actually remember now. I will come prepared one week.
You never know. It might happen. What I can tell you is we've got a competition tonight. Last week on the show, Dean was in. He was telling us about the American system, which could change your life and, change the way you do business. Simple as that. Even make you more money and get you more private time at home. We're giving away a couple of copies of that book tonight. Stay listening for your chance to win. It's going to be very simple, and it's a competition exclusive to the radio show, so you won't see it on the Twitter feed until we have a winner. Martin looks shocked and horrified at the concept.
What? Hey, what? Hey, what?
It's a radio competition only on that one.
We're getting well professional now.
That's right, yeah. So stay listening. Also, of course, tell your friends to listen to the show. All of the usual bits are here. We've got our special guest, Helen. We're going to be talking blogging later on. We've got our account of the week. Now, this week, I tweeted before the show, actually, we're getting slightly romantic. We're talking weddings. So it doesn't have to be weddings, I guess. We got Deborah. Now, the Twitter account is Painted Invites. But Deborah, what's the actual account name?
So the business is called Invitations by Hand.
Okay, and I mean, this obviously broadly could be weddings, but I guess it could be anything as well.
It could absolutely be anything. It just lends itself particularly well to weddings. They do lots of florals, lots of very dainty, lots of bows. It's quite feminine, but then they're hand-painted, so that's the beauty of it. It could be anything you wanted it to be.
Now, the wedding industry as a whole, pretty much all of it now is bespokeable. Do you find, now you said there that everything's very feminine, do you find it's the bride generally that drives all this, or do people come to you as a couple?
I hate to be sexist about it, but I think it is the brides. I think, in general, I think the men just like to turn up on a day and everything's done. And then again, I may be doing a disservice to lots of grooms out there, but I think it is the brides. I think it's something that we dream about, as little girls, and then we grow up and we want it all to be perfect and we want it to be beautiful, and that's just my sort of contribution to the day, to making that part of the day special.
So how long is the process? I'm already married, happily so. But if I was to come to you now, or my wife or fiancé was going to come to you now, and what's the process? Talk me through it. Do you sort of get to know the bride, if you like?
Absolutely. So a consultation first. Sit down and talk to them. If it's possible, if they're in the locale, they can do it over Skype. If not, talk to them and see what they want. Now, I do offer different services for different budgets, so you can have everything bespoke and hand-painted if that's what you want and that's in your budget. Obviously, that takes a bit longer. There's more work involved, but that is completely custom-made for you. I can manage about 40 of those a year, so they have to be diarised and they go into the calendar. And probably from start to finish, that takes about 4 weeks, really, for me to do everything and to collate everything. So there are other services that I offer as well, though, one of which would be to talk to the bride and to get a feel for the kind of colours and themes that she would like. And I can make a one-off painting, and then from there we can have printed stationery, so it's still bespoke. That's her design, that remains her design throughout, it never goes to anybody else. But she can have the entire suite of stationery made from there. Or you can go onto the website, and then if you see a design that you like on the website, you can have something printed from a ready painted design. And I'm uploading new designs all the time, as I paint them and discover more lovely flowers to paint. New designs go up.
I'm trying to think back to my wedding. That's terrible. I never said that, Deborah. I'm thinking back to our wedding now, and there was a kind of blue theme running through it. So is that what people do? They come along and just say, right, we're going to have blue as the colour.
Yeah, they might say blue, or they might, with a bride, you might say, okay, we're having, so if it's blue, it might be lovely cornflowers or irises, and they say, this flower is a particular favourite of mine, or it has a particular sentimental meaning to me. I'd like irises or cornflowers. And then, I do a design, send her a PDF or take a physical copy, which is in the locale, and we agree on that, and then we can match the entire suite to that if that's what the bride wants.
So what's the weirdest thing? Have you had sort of people having, can I have a Star Wars wedding or a Bart Simpson or something like that?
We haven't had Star Wars. I'd love a Star Wars wedding. That would be excellent.
Dude, I DJ'd at a Star Wars wedding once.
Did you?
There was a guard of honour of stormtroopers there, all with lightsabers, which I had to point out was wrong. Anyway, that's beside the point.
I'm getting married next year, so I might
there you go.
That for my wedding. The peacocks have been the strangest thing. Peacocks. Particularly a young lady had a thing for peacocks, and could I paint some peacocks with peacock colours? So, of course I could, and actually it was beautiful because you get to use lovely sort of blues and teals and golds and silvers, and it was absolutely beautiful and made the young lady very happy.
So where do you kind of get into this? Are you a sort of artist generally aside from this?
Yeah, I have. I've been painting for, I don't know, about 10 years now, something like that, and I've sold quite a few of my canvases, but they tend to be great big flowing landscapes, or quite a few floors and things like that. And I got into it because, I'm getting married next year, and when we decided to get married, I started to look at the things that I wanted for my wedding. And like a lot of businesses, they're born out of necessity. I couldn't see something that I wanted that was as beautiful as I wanted it to be. And so I thought, well, you know what, I'm artistic. I'm sure I can do this. And after lots and lots of sort of trial and error, I hit on a way of doing it and making the cards, beautiful and something that I would be happy to have at my wedding, and therefore that I'd be happy to offer to other people.
So where does it start? Does it normally start with the wedding, or do some people kind of issue the invites and they do the engagement announcements and all that kind of stuff all the way through as well?
Tends not to be engagement announcements. I haven't done any of those yet. We do have Save the Dates, which is an American idea. So the idea there is that if you're getting married in peak time, say, something which is like school holidays, half term, something like that. What you can do is a year before you could issue a save the date, and then people can pop that on their fridge and say, right, well, we went back our holidays, during the May half term. Having said that, if it's somebody that you really, really want at your wedding, I'm sure they'll know, and they wouldn't book their holidays then anyway. And then you would normally send your invites out somewhere between about 6 to 4 months beforehand, but obviously with stationery you need a couple of months to prepare everything. You need to proofread everything and make sure that you're entirely happy with everything that's on there, all of the information.
Now, presumably in this technological world, it won't be long before you just effectively put the date in my calendar remotely online and stuff like that.
You could do that, but I just think it's more personal. I think it's lovely to have something to hold. It's lovely to have a tangible reminder and something to look forward to. I think if you have that in your hand, I think it helps to build the excitement and in a way to set the tone for the day. If I were just to give you a kind of a scrappy piece of paper and write, come to my wedding a week on Tuesday, it's not as exciting as if you get something and it's lovely and hand-painted and full of scrolls and beautiful script. I just think it just kind of helps to set the tone of what's going to happen.
And is the paper or the card that it goes on important? My wife absolutely loves quality paper.
Yes, absolutely. That is of prime importance. So I use the lowest quality that I use is 300 GSM, which is lovely, lovely thick card, and the highest one is 350, because any higher than that and you get creasing and cracking, so that's not good. But 350 is prime, and that accepts paint really well. It holds its shape really well, and it holds the colour really well.
Brilliant. So you said there's other things you do, and so aside from the wedding, can you do all the things, the cards for the table, and presumably you could, but it just takes that much longer to do it?
Absolutely, no, that's all part of the range. So, so on the website, the website address is invitationsbyhand.co.uk. On there you'll see all of the different ranges, the different types of just suggestions really of things that you could have, but also, so there are day invites, evening only invites if you just want people to come along to the evening do. place names, table numbers. You could have your table plan, so save the dates, order of service, which is the thing that you'd have to tell your guests what's going on the day.
Brilliant. I'm wishing now that we could... Well, I wish I could turn the clock back anyway, but I was just thinking back of a save the date thing now. That's a great idea.
Well, you just have to propose again, renew your vows, don't you?
Do you know, that's an idea.
I'll start.
I'll start saving now. Right, okay, brilliant. Deborah, give us your contact details. How do people get in touch? What's the best way?
Okay, so the website is invitationsbyhand.co.uk. Telephone is a landline number, which is obviously 01803 475 443. If you want to email, it's weddings@invitationsbyhand.co.uk. And Twitter, which would be very important for your listeners, the handle is @paintedinvites. There's also Pinterest, where you can see some of the cards, which is again @paintedinvites, or there's a Facebook page, which is Invitations by Hand.
Brilliant. Deborah, thank you very much for being our account of the week this week.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're more than welcome, and we look forward to... Well, we all look forward to being invited to a wedding. Probably yours, in fact. That's just put the circulation up by a few, isn't it?
I'll put you on the list.
Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Now, if you didn't get any of those details down, we will, of course, tweet them frantically as the hour goes on. 11 minutes past 8. It is Monday night. It's been a warm one across the weekend. It's been stunning, really, weather-wise, hasn't it?
Been lovely. I'll take this weekend over and over again.
It's warm in the studio tonight as well. We're going to be talking blogging. Now, Helen is with us. Welcome along to the hour, Helen.
Hi, thank you for inviting me in, Martin and Mick.
You're more than welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Blogging. Now, blogging is something which... I'm aware of the concept, and I think, that probably most people have heard the term blogging somewhere along the line. But what actually is it? Sum it up for us.
Okay, so blogging is putting fresh content onto your website, basically, to drive traffic to it. So writing articles consistently onto your website about various subjects to showcase your expertise, to showcase your products, and blogging them out. Blogging is basically a word for weblog.
Right.
So
okay.
That's where the word comes from.
For a simpleton like me, is it kind of basically a diary, or are there kind of covert sales messages in there too?
It's for business. Yes, there's a covert sales message in there. So if you were writing for you would want to showcase your expertise. You would want to showcase your premises, perhaps your product. Write about it in a way that it's all about engaging with your customers and potential customers. So it's not about hard selling. It's about giving your readers something interesting to read that is ongoing, like a journal. So
okay.
Yeah.
Right, we will find more as the hour goes on. By the end of the hour, if you're not a blogging expert, then we need to know the reason why. It's as easy as that. If you've got any blogging-related questions about how you should start doing it, what you should include in it, stuff like that, get in touch. Helen is here to answer your questions. The easiest way, of course, is using the hashtag of Twitter Hour. Now, if you're a regular listener to the show, you will know that we always like to feature music from Devon or South Devon-based acts. This week is no exception. And by the way, if you want to get in touch, if you want to send us your music, you can do that at any point during the week. Email it through to Martin. All the details on the website. We'll give you that later on, and we could be playing you next week on the show. This week the first song comes from Clara Bond, and it's Promised Land. The Chancellor thinks he knows what Torbay and South Devon needs to do business.
We want to create good permanent jobs in this area, and that's about investing in the roads, it's about investing in skills, it's about attracting businesses.
But what do you think? Join us every Monday from 8 o'clock for the Torbay Hour radio show. In the studio tonight with us is Emma Seaman from Outset Torbay.
I'm totally on board with you.
Tonight we're going to be talking finance.
Yeah.
Whoa,
We
finance.
won't make it too boring, don't worry.
No, we've got James for that. It's fine.
Okay, that's James. All right.
I'll be looking at sort of cybercrime tonight, so we'll be looking at some useful websites that you can go onto and hopefully protect your business.
We talk and tweet business for Torbay and South Devon with you, special guests, and some cake.
Hello. That's me, not the cake.
So join us this Monday from 8 on Twitter, online and on air.
Cool sweat, little white dress, sun is up ahead, doing what I do best. Soon I just run away. Have you got the time to see the harbor lights floating on the ocean before midnight? My glass slippers are in my hand. You talk for hours about the promised land. Promised land. We talk for hours about the promised land. You are for me the world, but I've made my own. Don't think I'll be that girl. That's what it is to love. Have you got the time to see the harbor lights floating on the ocean before midnight? My glass slippers are in my hand. You talk for hours about the promised land. Have you got the time to see the harbor lights floating on the ocean before midnight? My glass slippers are in my hand. You talk for hours about the promised land. Promised land. We talk for hours about the promised land.
It's the TorbayHour radio show with Clara Bond, and that is Promised Land. It's coming up to 8:20, Monday night. We've got to say a massive thank you. There's a few people to say a massive thank you tonight, actually. We've got to say a massive thank you to our featured account sponsors joining us this week, which is Armstrong Removals, for all your removal needs from South Devon all over the country. And do you know what? Removals is one of those things, it's probably the biggest thing that puts me off moving house.
Yes.
The idea of packaging everything up. So if you've got some removal guys you can trust, it is worth hanging on to their name. Armstrong Removals are them, and they have kindly sponsored the featured account, which is fantastic.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Matt and the guys.
What else is happening on... We've got a chance to win money. I can barely contain my excitement.
I know, we've just seen this one. So, at Paramount Person... Personnel. I think it's at Paramount Person is their is their Twitter handle. I could be wrong. But they're saying if you recommend them, you could get a £100 referral fee.
We like money.
There you go. See, so say hello to them.
All the details, the terms and conditions and everything that, you just click on the link that they have tweeted, and I have retweeted tonight, and it will take you straight through to them. If you want to get in touch, hashtag TorbayHour, you can do that. Maybe you've got something that you would like to promote. You can do it the same way that Paramount Personnel have done, and just tweet it during this hour, and we could be talking about you. Now, we're also talking blogging. Helen is in the studio with us talking blogging tonight. We were talking before about what blogging is. Web blogging, it's kind of like a bionic diary for the 21st century, but also a way of promoting your business. Now, whenever we're talking about business concepts, we always talk on the show about our imaginary widgets, so that it crosses any kind of business possibility. So if we were Widgets Limited and we wanted to, we just suddenly decided, we woke up one morning and thought, right, we need to blog. What are the things you need to consider when you start blogging?
Right, okay, so you need to think about your content, that's the first thing, think the potential reader's going to look at your title, so that's the first thing they're going to see. So it needs to be snappy, it needs to be something that they're going to click on, and it's going to grab their attention straight away. So a play on words is always a good one. I give my own blogs quite good play on words, so it makes people, sometimes I'll write a question or just something that then will make people, they want to click on your blog because they want to read further. So that's the first thing to do.
So can I just stop you there? Where is a blog something which you put on your own website, or is there a kind of I don't know, central catch-all for blogs that people put stuff on?
There's both, really. I mean, what I'm talking about tonight is about getting a blog on your own website as a business user, so that you can drive traffic to your website. There's also people blog for personal use, and people blog for other people. You can be a guest blogger on somebody else's website. So if you've got a niche, you can put your blog on other people's websites, which is something that I've done in the past for several people as well. But what the idea of having your own blog on your own website is to drive traffic to your website, to keep it current and to keep your content fresh.
Now there are people. There's some young people who are sort of gazillionaires many times over on the strength of their blogs, just about their personal life. Now, is it just about picking something which is going to attract people to whatever you want to talk about?
It can be if you're doing a personal blog, but for a business blog it needs to be relating to your business or to a part of, I mean, it's all about, it's a whole thing that people buy from people, so it is a personal thing. If you were writing a blog or when I write a blog, it's very much, it's about me with a personal touch, but it's enforcing my brand so that people will then engage with your blog, and then they will then engage with you. So you're not just a static page on a website, you're actually keeping your content current, you're adding a bit of personality into it, into your brand and into your business.
Okay, so if we go back to Widgets Limited that we're starting up, we need to come up with our cunning widget-based blog. I don't know, which blog?
Okay, the way which blog? So yeah, I mean the blog it's all about, you know, it's back to the old marketing thing of AIDA. So you're creating attention, so you need to draw attention to it, and again that's through your content. It might be through a photo, through putting a photo on there. It might be through talking about, you know, a particular event that's going on, and then getting interest. So that's getting your information out there, creating it in an interesting way that's going to capture your audience and engage them. And then, you know, the desire things, you've got to give them something to, you know, to desire your product or your service. And again, that can be done through photos, it can be done through, you might do a review or maybe interview somebody as part of a blog. So it starts to form a story. So back to what you were saying about the journal, you know, like a kid writing a diary. Yes, you start to form a story of your business, which is all about engaging and attracting people to your business. And obviously the final thing is that you want to take action, so you want them to do something. So when you put a blog on your website, once you've written it, you've got to make sure that people see it, and that's a very important thing. So there's no point in just writing a blog and then leaving it sitting there. You need to write a blog, and then you need to take that blog and you need to tweet it out, you need to get it out on social media, as many places as you can, especially to relevant people, so that they then come back, read your blog, read what you've got to say. But more importantly, which is the whole point of it, is you want them to take some action. So at the end of your blog, you need to ask them a question, ask them what you want to do, give them a form to fill in, especially get them to share a blog. So blog posts mostly have little sharing buttons on the bottom. If anybody's looked at mine, I've got sharing buttons on the bottom, and they get shared quite a lot. And that's ultimately how you get your message out there, is by people sharing your content with other people, driving back to your website, and then getting them from your website to subscribe, filling a form, and that's a very important part of a blog as well.
Okay, so when you take it on, it's not something to be done lightly, is it? Because there's a commitment to maintaining it.
There is a commitment. I mean, the big thing about blogging as well is consistency. If you just write a blog and then don't go back to it for 2 or 3 months, it's kind of saying that you're not engaging with your customer. It's like, well, you've started a blog, but then you've left it, you know, almost like you can't be bothered. So once you've made a commitment to blog, consistency is key, whether that's once a week, twice a week, and it needs to be, you know, at a level that you can keep up with. So that you're consistent, because you've got people following you, and that is the whole idea, is to get people to engage with your content, to get people to engage with your product or your service. So it looks like if you don't carry it on, or you don't do it consistently, you're losing the whole message. In fact, you're giving the negative message out there rather than a positive one.
Okay, we'll talk more blogging very, very soon. Martin, what's going on the feed tonight?
It's another busy one again, which is quite nice to see. So the Crafted Empo 1, they were tweeting before the hour, so they got these cute little P-pod keyrings at the moment that they're pushing, and they're also mentioning the fact that they're in new premises, new larger premises. It's always nice to see a business in Torbay doing well. Also, at TEDx Totnes, they've got a new speaker lined up, Hugo Tagholm. He's the Chief Executive of Surfers Against Sewage.
Ah, right, okay.
So if that's something that's going to interest you, then get in touch with them and get along to one of their talks at the moment.
They've been doing some work with Exeter University recently, studying, because they found that surfers take on roughly 10% more water than the average human. So they're a good source of seeing what pollution there is in the seawater around our coasts.
That's interesting.
By studying the water, or the sort of blood and bacteria levels, because there's a resistance to bacteria, which is being sort of developed through humans. Anyway, it's an interesting piece of research.
It actually
and Surfers Against Sewage are pioneering the way, rather than me, as you can tell.
Well, you know, we're halfway there. At MJ Smile Smith, if you're getting ready for auto-enrolment, they've got a payroll service that they can offer, so they can give you a hand with that one. Wacky Wabbit was on earlier. He's saying they've got a mascot race in Paignton on the 28th of June, so he's taking part in that. As our resident TorbayHour mascot, then good luck to him.
Is he our mascot, is he?
Well, he's the only mascot we've got, I think.
Right, okay.
Oh, well, we've got Cavog.
Yeah.
So go Cavog and go Wacky Wabbit.
Brilliant, we like that. Should we start our competition so people have got a chance to enter?
Yes.
That's a good idea. Now, we've got copies of the book, and it's not a pamphlet. Where's my copy gone?
I've got here.
It's in here somewhere. Oh, I got one. That's I got it. It's a book called Traction. Now, this is a system which was outlined by Dean last week on the show. It's described as a book which is a must for any business owner and their management team. Traction provides a powerful, practical and simple system for running your business. Now, it's an American-based system, and I say that as though that's derogatory. I don't mean that at all.
It's a positive thing.
It's a very positive thing, but it is one of those things which you can be cynical about, but if you stick to the system, it's probably like a diet in a way for your business. If you stick to it, it'll work.
Oh, he's going to like
that. That's what they promise. So, do you have a grip on your business, or does your business have a grip on you? If you fancy reading that, good holiday reading as we approach holiday season. Fancy a copy? We've got some to give away. How are we going to do it?
Right. I'm changing it now. So we're going to say hashtag TorbayHour. So put in your tweet, hashtag TorbayHour, hashtag get a grip.
Get a grip.
There you go.
Right, it's a radio competition only on this one, so if you suddenly see that appearing on the tweet, you'll know, because you'll have heard it on this. I'll shut up.
Go on, do it.
Get tweeting now. I'm going to play another song. This is Anne-Marie Waite.
Speak slowly. Speak softly. And be kind to yourself. Speak gently. Speak with empathy when you have those little words we said. Speak slowly, speak softly, and be kind to yourself. Speak gently. Speak with empathy when you have those little words we said. Have a little word with yourself when you're feeling blue. Have a little word with yourself when you're angry and the world's against you. When you clear your mind through the mist, you see the view. Let your words be the only words that guide you. Speak slowly, speak softly, and be kind to yourself. Speak gently. Speak with empathy when you have those little words we said. Have a little time to yourself when you're got and confused. Have a little smile to yourself when you find the strength to push on through. When you finally make it, throw your hair back and look at the free you. Let your words shine a light inside you. Let your words calm you. Let your words soothe you. Let your words see you through troubles of life. Speak softly. Speak softly. Be kind to yourself. Speak gently. Speak with empathy. When you have to speak the words we say. When you have to speak the words we say. When you have to speak the words we say. Speak softly. Speak softly. When you have those little words we say.
Amory Waite and Speak Slowly on the TorbayHour radio show.
If you love the 80s, you'll love the 80s show on Music Mill FM. It's where we take you back to a decade that saw big mobile phones, big haircuts, and even bigger hits like this. So why not join me, Simon Lee, as I take you on a musical adventure with the 80s show, only on Music Mill FM.
Now, some people have a bad idea about radio presenters and DJs generally, thinking they've got far too much money. Simon does nothing to help the cause by being in the Pyrenees, listening to this show tonight, driving in a car. That means he's got a very posh car or internet radio and has far too much money.
Far too much.
Far too much money. Anyway, if you fancy getting another 100 quid, thanks to Paramount Personnel, they could give you 100 quid for recommending them and mentioning the TorbayHour. So big thank you to them. Now, you have got so many people you need to say thank you to.
Yes, so obviously we need to say thank you to the Babin for their radio show sponsorship. Obviously we need to say thank you to Armstrong Removals for their featured account sponsorship. Obviously we need to say get well soon to James Twigger because he's man down tonight, hence why we're a little bit quiet on the Twitter stream because I'm in here.
Okay.
Who else do I need to say? Thanks to Dean Brayley for the books. So don't forget, hashtag TorbayHour, hashtag get a grip.
Get a grip.
Yes, indeed. Other than that, what's going on the stream? So Paint Zoo, if you're a school or a community group, get in touch with them and get involved in the Great Big Rhino Project. We've mentioned that before in the past. That's the next gorilla thing that they're doing.
Yes, we're going to start seeing rhinos everywhere.
Yes, indeed. And I heard a rumour about alpacas, someone doing alpacas, so we'll keep an ear out for that one.
Seems to be everywhere I go at the moment. And I don't mean this just driving down the A380, I suddenly see an alpaca, but wherever I go, I bump into an alpaca in some way or another. Rare Breeds Farm in Totnes, down at Woodlands as well, we saw alpacas. A friend of mine, when I mentioned this to her, she suddenly said, oh yeah, we keep alpacas.
Wow.
Got 2 alpacas. Anyway.
A couple of new accounts to mention. At Shoals Brixham, that's a cafe at Shoalstone Pool. Fish-based cafe by the sounds of it. And also at Douglas House. They're over in Brixham, the Leonard Cheshire Homes over there. So get in touch with them because they do fantastic work.
Right, if you want to get in touch with the show tonight, hashtag TorbayHour, hashtag get a grip if you fancy winning a copy of Traction. Get a grip on your... We've all got... Look, we're all waving our copies. Yay! Well, you're left out now. You haven't got oh, you're waving one as well. There we go.
I got 2.
That's just showing off. Hashtag get a grip if you fancy getting your hands on one of those books. We're talking blogging. Helen Brenton is in the studio with us tonight and loving it, which is great. You're beaming. There's something about that chair which makes people smile.
It's the cakes. Oh, and the chair.
Oh, yeah,
and the
carrying the
book.
chair.
And the company, of course.
Well, you've said all the right things, you really have. Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick.
We're talking blogging, we're talking what goes into making a good blog. The important things you need to remember. Now, presumably, much like anything else you put on the internet, you've actually got to be careful about what you write as well.
Yeah, I mean, your content is key. So the thing is with blogging, is people aren't going to necessarily read every word, but you need to make every word count. So, people will scan, they'll look onto your blog, and, you need to keep them engaged, ideally to the end. Remember what I said about you want people to get to the end of your blog to take an action. So yes, you need to be careful what you say, but it's with a professional blog, it's you're linking it back to your business, you're linking it back to something that's going to create interest so that people engage with you.
Are they governed in any way? Is there a kind of not an Ofcom for blogging, but is there any kind of, are you bound by the normal rules that would govern anything that was published?
Yeah, there's absolutely, you are. I mean, it's you can put your blog on your website, and it's you can't duplicate content. So, for example, you can't put a blog on same blog on 10 different websites. So that's down to do with like your Google rankings. But other than that, yeah, you can effectively write what you want on your blog. But I wouldn't think that you're going to write anything too derogatory about your own business. No, but kind of not the point.
No, but you might write. So you might think you could get away with writing something derogatory about somebody else's business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would soon come back at you if you did.
Right.
But you could critique someone else's business in your blog. It wouldn't be very professional in my mind, but you could do it.
Now, we were talking about the commitment to maintaining the blog once you've started it. So whether you decide to do that presumably ad hoc, or whether you decide to do that weekly or monthly or whatever it's going to be. But if you can't do that, people like you presumably can take on the sort of managing your blog for you.
Absolutely, yes. So, you can outsource blogging, content writing, copywriting, and that's something that I do. I do blog for people. I take on their content and I keep it regularly updated for them on their website while they get on with other things. Okay. It becomes a bit of a knack, and I've been writing for quite a long time. It becomes a bit of a knack, and to me, blogging is not a difficult thing, but that's because I've been doing it for a long time and quite experienced. But for a lot of people, yeah, it's a very daunting thing to like, oh gosh, what am I going to write? I walk around all the time. Everywhere I go, like, when I came in here tonight, I take photos because that will make a blog, and my mind is blogging all the time. It is a constant blog. Not everybody's like that, so they can outsource a blog to someone like me. I get.
We were saying as well that to a certain degree, I take coming in here for granted. You were very excited and nervous coming into the radio studio tonight. For me, it's what I've always done, so there's no drama. There is a danger with anyone in their business that what they consider to be every day is actually what everybody else wants to know about their business. So if you were, I don't know, working on engines, I mean, I happen to have got a sports car fascination. So if someone was blogging and saying, today I worked on a Porsche this or Ferrari that, they might just think, well, that's just my job. I do it every day. But I, as someone who might be interested in that, would find that fascinating.
Yeah, and it's back to what I said about making what you do every day into something very interesting. And there can be. It's all about the personal thing. It's talking as if you're talking to your best friend in a blog, but whilst also making it relevant to your business. For example, I wrote a blog on my website today, which just came to me at the weekend. After walking out of Ockham Farm, I write a blog about camping. It is quite relevant to my business. I've spent a lot of time in the camping industry in over the years. I do marketing, so I put the two and two together, and it's made a blog that has already got very, very well read. So it's all about making something that's very everyday and normal into something that's interesting, and again that you want somebody to do something with at the end. So you want them to contact you. So your car engine that might sound boring, I could actually make that very interesting for you. Actually,
we've chosen the wrong person now. I find it interesting. Yeah.
Believe it or not, and like I say, it does become a knack of making, just making the content of your everyday world into interesting, and that's back to human to human marketing. It's back to people want to buy off you. They don't just want to buy off a computer screen or a faceless product, and that's what blogging's all about.
So your blog, as you write it, might be your diary of what you've done today, but then when your call to action at the end of it, that might be comments which sort of invites people to interact with what you've
absolutely.
said.
I mean, it could be your diary of what you've done today, but what you've done today could be because you've had a new product delivered, you've fitted a new engine in your car, you've had some new musicians in the studio, for example. So even though it is a diary of what you've done today, it's always linking back to your product, it's linking back to your market or linking back to your business in some way. So some articles need to be light-hearted and some can be like a little bit longer and a little bit more technical. For example, you may want to write, an instruction manual of something new that's come in. So it's all about mixing your content up. So, you have the jovial bits as well, but you also need to get down to the basics of your business in there as well, because that's after all what it's all about.
Okay, we're talking blogging tonight. We've already learnt loads. If you have any questions, then get in touch, #TorbayHour. Martin's going to tell us more about what's going on the feed in a sec. We've got more music on the way for you as well. Someone who we've played a lot on the show, but I haven't played him in a long, long time, is Adam Isaac, and I'll play you the big song from him, Breathe in Love, next.
If you want a career in the music or radio industry, you need to talk to The Music Mill. In partnership with the Academy of Music and Sound, The Music Mill now offers both BTEC diplomas and degrees covering both music and radio production. These industry-backed courses start in September, so don't miss your chance to learn from professionals with decades of experience. With limited places available, register now and talk to us about studying in Devon for a career that could take you across the world. You can find out more online at www.themusicmill.co.uk.
When something wakes you up and shakes you up and keeps you up all night, you must embrace it and chase it and breathe in love. Beautiful inside. Woo, woo, beautiful inside. Something like an explosion is going up in the sky. When something wakes you up and shakes you up and keeps you up all night, you must embrace it and chase it and breathe in love. Beautiful inside. Your skin, simple complication, nothing to lose but you cannot win. When something wakes you up and shakes you up and keeps you up all night, you must embrace it and chase it and breathe in love. Beautiful inside. Beautiful inside.
Adam Isaac and Breathe in Love. It's the Torbay Hour radio show. Thanks to the Babacom Inn for their continued support with the show. Martin's ability to eat one whole cupcake in one mouthful is now photographically proved on Twitter tonight.
Yes.
Now, some people might accuse us of mocking stuff up. Some people might accuse us of having a stunt double. That actually happened, didn't it?
It actually did happen.
I only took a bite out the bottom. I didn't shove the whole thing in.
Meanwhile, I'm eating mine very daintily, like a lady.
I mean, like a lady, you are a lady. Look what I have to work with every week. Photographic evidence of
that's hurtful.
Cake monster in cake. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, what's going on?
Right, so sensible stuff. This is what we're here for, people. Right, Nigel Hicks photo. He's got photography courses in Brixham on the 20th of June, so we get a lot of tweets about and photos sent to us. Make them better. In the politest possible way, and have a word with Nigel. Also, John Lake Torquay, he's got a new video that he's had done, stories from an estate agent. An amusing video. I believe it was done by Raw Studios, but I can't be sure. Yeah, I had a look at that earlier. It's quite, as an ex-estate agent myself, it made me chuckle.
I bet they've seen some sights, estate agents.
I bet they have.
God dear. And we're not talking the Confessions movies of the 80s, 70s and 80s. That's a whole nother genre.
I'm here to sell your house.
Yeah, right. Anyway, right, sorry, back to the plot.
Coming on.
At SD College, they've got a range of jobs with companies across Devon, so if you're looking for a job, get in touch with them. Nicola Bidgood, she's saying the next Torquay Chamber public meeting is on June the 11th, so if that interests you, get on down and see them. She's also looking for an office for one, so if anyone's got one of those, then give her a shout, or if you've got a desk to hire somewhere. Holly Morwenna earlier talking weddings. If you can hire her for your wedding.
Do you know there's something about actually having a live singer, which is just totally different atmosphere.
Yes.
Than if you've got like a DJ, or maybe the combination of both.
Well, you have the singer in the day with the nice romantic bit, and then you have the disco for the drinky bit.
Or possibly you could even get a bespoke song.
Ooh.
Now, there's a whole business there, isn't there? You could do bespoke tunes for people.
There you go.
I like that idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Holly. Well, you can have that one on us.
Also, Hewitt High was on earlier talking blogs. He's got a blog on them at the moment to do about the driving licence changes.
Oh, yeah.
That come into effect on the 8th of... Today, yeah. So if you're going to hire a car or something like that, then that will affect you. So it's worth checking that out just to see what's going on, really.
Okay, right. All of that, you can find the links via the Torbay Hour hashtag. Helen's been talking blogs tonight. Helen, we've covered a lot of ground. What would you say is the biggest mistake people make if they're going to... Okay, we've got our Twitter account, we've got our Facebook account, we've got our Pinterest account, we've done our LinkedIn profile for ourselves, we've got a website that's working fine. Now we're going to start doing our weblog. What's the biggest mistake they make?
I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is they write a blog and they just leave it sitting there. They don't do anything with it, so that people don't know that it's there. Basically, I've looked at people's websites; they've got blogs on there, sometimes quite interesting stuff, but they haven't shared it. So it's back to the whole point of having a blog is to get it out there and to get people to read it. So that's the first thing is sharing your blog. You mentioned Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place for sharing blogs. If somebody pins your blog, they've got it on their board, and other people are going to pin it from them as well. So that's a great place. Also LinkedIn. If you're putting yourself out there as as an expert in your field, get your blog on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn yourself, you could, or you haven't got a business page on LinkedIn, you can always put it in a group. I started blogging in groups on LinkedIn fairly recently, from which I personally picked up quite a lot of good contacts from that, and made some good networking through that. The other thing with the blog is just to make it relevant, make it timely, and just to mix your content up. I try and write things that I can use again as well, so it's not always just what's in the news that day or what's happening that week, but something that's topical that that I can use in a couple of weeks' time. I've written blogs about I wrote a blog about staycations recently, so I can use that all through the summer at various times. What song guides are great, and so that's another good thing, is to mix your content up a bit, so it's not always just what's happening on the day.
So is it really, if someone was to set 5 minutes aside at the end of the day to sort of update their blog, almost kind of like this was today, and they did that every day, that's kind of like the best thing they could do, really?
Not necessarily every day. I mean, I wouldn't say, depending how much time you've got, I would say 2 or 3 times a week. Get it out on your social media channels, and make sure that it's shareable. Make sure that there's a call to action at the end of it. That's the most important thing, because, that's, at the end of the day, you want them on your website, and you want them to do something when they get on your website. It's all about getting referrals, leads, and sales at the end of the day. We all live by selling something, after all, even me.
We do, yes, absolutely. Martin, what's happening on the stream? Oh, I'll give you a microphone. There we go.
I thought you were going to ask what I sell. Myself.
Cake. You get more for the cake than you would for yourself.
Yeah, I have to give out change. Right, so Clive Meredith, he was on 399 followers. I was going to give him a mention, but he smashed through that. So instead, I will mention at Hayward Glass. They're on 999 followers.
Ah!
Give him a follow before the end of Torbay Hour, please.
Make 1,000. Be the 1,000th.
Be the 1,000th. Bygones_Torquay, they've got their first ever book launch on Thursday at 7:30, so get along and check that one out. And Grandpa Frank's has only just arrived, but we'll forgive him because he did very nice hot dogs at Ockham on Friday.
I was going to say, we haven't had them here.
No.
No, it's a good thing. It's a bit warm in here, isn't it?
It is a bit warm.
We have just sussed out how to make the air conditioning. We've got cooler.
I know, you can probably hear it in the background. Actually, I really apologise for the buzz, but we were sweating.
Yes.
It wasn't pretty.
Very unpleasant. Coming up to 5 to 9, there's still a chance for you to get in. We'll do the draw for the books Traction. Now, this was our guest last week, and if you missed the show last week, don't forget we have a Listen Again, or a Torbay Hour Plus service, which is on YouTube. So all you need to do is go along to the YouTube channel. We're still working on the concept of podcasting it. We need to follow that up. But yes, so go along and listen on there. You can find out more about Traction, the book, the system, and what it can do for your business, how it could change the way you do business, or possibly change some elements of your private life as well. I'm just kind of flicking in the book. So if you fancy getting your hands on a copy of that, then all you need to do is, we're all waving them again. We've got into the American thing, haven't we? All you need to do is tweet now and just use the hashtag of #GetAGrip. And we'll bang you in the draw for those books. So that is available to you now. We got 5.5 minutes left to do that. So Helen, blogging. What else do we need to know if we're all going to rush away from here? I guess one of the things is the actual platform we're going to write it on. Is there specific blogging software, or is
there's various blogging software. You can set up a blog on WordPress. There's blogger.com. There's a few different softwares. Or for business, obviously it needs to be on your website. It needs to be linked to your website, and so that it's visible, so that if people go onto your website, they can see straight away that you've got a blog on there as well.
Right. So it might be something that someone needs to talk to whoever develops their website.
Yeah, I mean that's the best bet, because this is about blogging for business, and it's, if you haven't got a blog on your website, then speak to your web developer to get one put on there, or have a look and see how you can get it put on there yourself.
Okay, now I guess one of the things these days, with the immediacy of Facebook and Twitter and being able to just be anywhere and take a photograph and make it available straight away, are there apps or something which integrate that, which means that you can be that immediate and just be out there and take a snap and it appears? Or
yeah, I mean you can be out there and you can get your blog straight on. You can get your blog straight on as quickly as you write it, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it is nice and easy. It's not anything which is going to
No, not at all. It's just it's like writing an article, basically. It's just it's long form content, and it's just it's like writing an article and publishing it.
Right. So we're all, I tell you what, very rapidly we're all turning into journalists.
We're all turning. I mean blogging's slightly different to journalism. You can you just put a free flow on it, and but basically yes, I mean that's what it boils down to. You want people need to, just like people used to go to a newspaper and read content, and it needed to be fresh. You wouldn't want to read the same old news every day, would you? So that's the same with blogging, really. The information on your website is there every day, but the blogging is adding fresh content to it as often as you can, to keep people interested.
Okay, fresh, dynamic content.
Absolutely,
we like those words. I tell you what, Martin, we have learned so much jargon over the past few months we've been doing this show. show, we are now so technically competent.
You are. I'm concentrating on my book.
Oh, right. You've still got traction.
I'm still writing, handwriting all these things in my book and concentrating on this.
I'd forgotten. Last week we unveiled the fact, Helen. Last week we found out there was all of these technical aids around us. I'm surrounded by technology, and Martin has a paper book that he scribbles his notes in. Yeah.
That's what you were saying about the paper book and going back to blogging. One thing I do is I've always got like a little notebook with me and a pen, and I think of things as I go around to give me ideas for blogging,
right.
Which is a good thing to do.
It's an analogue blog.
A little. It's just like I'll make notes, or I'll see something, take a photo of something, or think, oh, that'll make a good blog, that'll make a good story.
It's an anablog.
So it's yeah. No.
It's a book.
You're anablogging.
I'm anablogging.
Yeah, going retro with a notebook and pen's never a bad thing.
Funnily enough, if I get an idea for a blog or something like that, I'm putting it in my phone.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
Wow, we've come up with a whole new concept in anablogging.
Anablogging.
Wow. Anyway,
that's a blog for another time.
Yeah, we keep innovating on this show, and we've just done it again. Something about this place, we're just so creative. If you want to get in touch during the week, it is so simple. All you need to do is use the hashtag of TorbayHour. We could be talking about you or two next week. If you fancy being a guest on the show, maybe you fancy being our featured account with Armstrong Removals for all your removal needs from South Devon all over the country, then get in touch as well. We could be talking to you. Helen, give us your contact details, what you can do, how people get in touch if they want more help and advice.
So people can get in touch with me. My website's helenbrenton.com, on Twitter at Helen Brenton. I do social media management, blogging, and content and copywriting specifically, but not necessarily for the tourism industry, which is my niche.
Right. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been an experience.
Certainly has, isn't it? You've seen, professional cake eating. I think it's...
I've seen that before.
Can I get a job professionally cake eating?
A cake tester. I'm sure we've got so many people that make cakes that listen to this show. I'm sure someone needs a cake tester, or maybe a human dustbin to get rid of the stuff we can't sell.
If you sell cakes and you want a taste tester, I'm available for hire.
Right, quick wrap up. You've got less than a minute.
Right, so ProDeck Roofing, they do commercial and domestic roofing, so no matter what's happening, now's a good time to do it because it's dry. Also, Stephen Scowns, they've got a competition to win a weekend in a VW camper van on their Facebook page. Please avoid it because I shall be going on there in about 30 seconds. And at Torbay Design, he takes loads of photos around the local area. If you want to use one of his photos for a blog, for instance, then you are free to do so. Just make sure you link to him.
Which is great, because that can be a hidden cost with a website. Thanks very much to Paramount Personnel. Don't forget, 100 quid to you if you can do a recommendation, which is wonderful. We like free money. If you want to listen to the show again to get all the help and advice from Helen, you can do that via the TorbayHour Plus YouTube channel, which will be up around about this time tomorrow. It is that simple, and we will see you next Monday night at 8 o'clock for another Torbay Hour. Have a great week, do business, and make it in Torbay and South Devon if you can. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This